110 pounds. I was named the oldest female competitive bodybuilder at the Guinness Book of World Records. I have a group of ladies that I train. When people come to my class for the very first time, they are really, really surprised. I really don't feel as though I'm 80 years of age, but I am. I want to keep training until my day is done.
For more stories like this, visit GreatBigStory.com.
Sorry. There are now more than 101,000 confirmed cases of coronavirus and more than 1,500 deaths in the U.S. And tonight, nearly 200 million Americans living under stay-at-home orders. It's a very, very tough time here. So I want to show you something that's just really incredible. This drone video, look at this. It's from about 2 hours ago, Friday night, the famous Las Vegas Strip. It's now a ghost town, normally busy and bustling with tourists. It's now deserted due to coronavirus. So I want to talk about the pandemic with the Governor Steve Sisolak, Governor of Nevada. Sir, thank you. I am honored to have you on. I know that it's a tough time for everyone. It's a very busy time, especially for the governors who have really stepped into the void here, picked up the slack, and are really helping the folks out all over this country. So thank you, Governor, for joining us. And I just want to jump right into the hard numbers with you. Your state has submitted 4 requests from the federal government for coronavirus tests. And as of today, you have received 0 shipments. You can correct me if I'm wrong. So what is the holdup?
I don't know. We got a response from them. We have an indefinite backlog on the coronavirus test. So we've gone on I've been on all the conference calls that we had with the president and the vice president, and I've got the most generous community in the world. Some of our bigger casino operators, Sheldon Adelson, donated several thousand test kits. He flew them in from Macau. The private labs have gone out and bought them. Some of the businesses have gone out, bought test kits on the open market. That's the only way we've been able to obtain any test kits whatsoever.
You've only received about 25% of what was called PPEs or personal protective equipment that you've requested. How soon before your hospitals run out, Governor?
Well, we're in a pretty desperate situation, but here again, I've gone to our community partners, our state partners. I've got one of our larger operators has donated in excess of 500,000 masks. Some of our smaller, our restaurants, we put a call out for our smaller restaurants and construction companies, nail salons. They're all donating masks and gloves and gowns. Like I say, the president made it clear that we should go try to find as much as we possibly can on our own. We have done that. But you can't find test kits very easily. Those you got to go onto the open market and buy them. And we have purchased some, but they're costly. I'm a small state. I can't compete with a New York or California, even a Michigan when it comes to purchase power. I mean, 3 weeks ago, Don, I had 2 positives. 2. I have 535 today and 10 deaths. Wow. So we're in a tough situation, but we're making do with what little we have, and the community's been great. They've stepped up. I've got nail salon operators that are dropping off 6 masks that just care about our community.
You said you have 535 now, and you had 2 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago, right? I had
3 weeks ago. Yeah. Wow. Yep. We've been seeing that. We've been seeing nail salon folks. We've been seeing people who work at tattoo parlors helping out, all kinds of Americans just stepping up. Listen, you're talking about competing on the open market and competing against bigger states or states who may have more resources. But also, some governors are saying that they are also competing against the federal government. They'll put an order in and then find out that their order has been canceled in some way by the federal government. Have you heard that?
I've heard that on your show. I have not had that experience. We have not had that here. Like I say, I'm on these calls. You've got 50 states and 4 territories are all on the calls, and everybody's asking for the exact same thing. We're all asking for ventilators, PPE equipment, test kits. Every single governor is asking for it, and we're going out and trying to find what we can on our own. Do we need help from the federal government? Certainly we do. But like I say, everybody has pulled it. They're working so hard in Nevada, whether you're a truck driver, or a grocery clerk, or stocking shelves, or the medical providers on the front end are, making do with what they have, and so appreciative of what we can get them. This community is really pulling together to try to cobblestone our fight together against this virus.
The president tonight, pardon me for the delay, the president tonight is saying that if governors aren't appreciative, he's not going to return their call. I mean, he pointed to Washington and Michigan as examples. Is that something that you're experiencing? I certainly hope not.
No, I have certainly not experienced that. I mean, anytime I've called, they've been very responsive to us. Like I say, we have responsive in so much as they'll return phone calls and they'll talk to us. We haven't gotten our orders filled, but then again, I mean, the requests are so enormous coming from all these states. You're talking 30, 40,000 ventilators. I have 838 ventilators in the state of Nevada. That's what we have. 40% of them are in use right now. We watch this every single day, how many of our ventilators are in use. I hope I don't get to where I've got 100% usage, but that day could potentially come.
Well, I hope you don't either as well. Listen, I want to talk to you something about that you limited here, the use of the governor, the president has touted the use of anti-malarial medication as a possible treatment for coronavirus, despite it being based on anecdotal evidence. But you actually signed a regulation to limit their use in your state. Why'd you do that?
I did. I have based all my decisions, whether it was, as you brought on early at the beginning, shutting down the Strip or, essential business and whatnot. I based it based on medical experts that have come to me and scientists that have come to me with information. This was based on our pharmacy board, a group of professionals that came to me and said, Governor, we need to institute this for the following reasons. We've got a lot of folks and there are some anecdotal stories where these drugs have been effective in fighting coronavirus. Unfortunately, we've had some concierge doctors that were prescribing this drug with the idea that their patient might get it later on down the line. So they're sitting on this drug and stockpiling it, and I don't have it available for patients that have been using it. Rheumatoid arthritis, lupus patients. I've got lupus patients that have used this for 5 to 10 years and go to their pharmacy and they're out, because there isn't enough of the supply of this drug. So if you're in the hospital and your doctor prescribes this for you, wants you to use these drugs, you can use them. But you can't just get a prescription and sit on it because if your concierge doctor says, look, you might need this if you get coronavirus.
Look, as we look at the images of the Las Vegas Strip, gaming and tourism big in Nevada, what has this done to the economy in your state, the coronavirus?
We had, 100,000 people have already filed for unemployment. I know when I made the decision to shut down the Strip, we put 205,000 casino workers out of work with one stroke of the pen. And I had a lot of sleepless nights going into that. But we will rebuild Las Vegas. We will rebuild it. People will come back. Our economy will pick back up. Now my number one business is saving lives. If everybody lives, we can rebuild what we had, but I need to focus on keeping people alive right now, and that's our number one focus. That's what our energies are going towards.
Good luck. Best of luck to you. If you need anything, you know how to get us. Governor Sisolak, Nevada.
I do.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Stay home for Nevada.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, Governor. The coronavirus spreading across this country, including Congress. I'm going to speak with one of several members of Congress who have tested positive next.
Coronavirus. What to do, what to avoid, and when to see a doctor. CNN's new podcast has answers. Join Dr. Sanjay Gupta for Coronavirus, Fact versus Fiction. Listen on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
CNN wins Royal Television Society Awards for Best Coverage Breaking News.
Some tear gas. We need to move back.
Journalist of the Year.
There, another shot.
And Outstanding Contribution to Broadcast Journalism.
Women are the future.
And the British Sports Journalism Awards. First woman to win Broadcast Journalist of the Year.
We both feel differently about speaking out.
It's an answer.
This particular question has not been answered.
Connect the World with Becky Anderson.
It all starts here. Fighting, creating, changing,
connecting. That's why we're here. We live here, we work here, we're from here, and we'll go wherever the story takes us.
I'm Becky Anderson in Tehran.
We are in Jerusalem. Real news that shapes our world. Exploring not just what's going on, but why.
I just want to press you on one further point.
Getting perspective on this region from this region. Places that many of us know, but few of us get to see. Watching past and future colliding. It all starts here, and that's why we're here, bringing you the world from our Middle Eastern hub.
Connect the world with Becky Anderson, Monday through Friday, only on CNN.
I'm Christy Loostout in Shanghai, and this is CNN.
Is the 100 Club, our look at companies that are 100 years old or older. Across the lush bluegrass pastures and limestone-bedded forests of central Kentucky, one name reigns supreme.
What are y'all drinking?
Jim Beam.
It's almost like a pilgrimage for some folks who are very loyal fans, come from all over the world to see where their Jim Beam bourbon's made.
Fred No is master distiller.
For him, bourbon is a family business, and the bloodlines trace all the way back to 1795 when Jacob Beam sold the first barrel.
You know, Jacob Beam started off making just a little bit of whiskey, maybe 1 barrel a day if he was lucky.
Bourbon is now an $8.5 billion industry in the U.S. state of Kentucky, where 95% of the world's bourbon is made.
Linda Kincaid in Atlanta, and this is CNN.
So here's where we are right now. Today, two more members of Congress testing positive for the coronavirus. Republican Congressman Mike Kelly of Pennsylvania confirming his diagnosis after experiencing flu-like symptoms, and Congressman Joe Cunningham of South Carolina saying that he tested positive after not being able to smell or taste, which can be a symptom of the coronavirus. Congressman Cunningham joins me now. Congressman, thank you so much. Listen, I have two friends here in New York City, same thing. They said they weren't able to taste or smell, and that's how they knew that they had it. And sure enough, they did when they got tested. Thank you so much for joining us. How you holding up?
Great, Don. Thanks for having me on. And I feel good. And right now, no symptoms, but still in quarantine as per the doctor's orders.
So you've been for 1 week now. Since you had contact with another member of Congress who tested positive. So what's going on? Tell us what's next. How long are you going to be in?
Well, so I'm supposed to be quarantined until tonight at midnight, actually. And, was just happened to take a test yesterday because, I had this symptom of not being able to taste or smell anything. And that really wasn't, I don't think, on anyone's radar as far as like symptoms go. Everyone kept on saying, well, do you have a fever? Do you have body aches? You go through this litany of what the typical symptoms are. Mm-hmm. And over the past week, I started seeing more and more articles pop up about how people have just been testing positive from having a lack of taste or smell. And I'm thinking, well, that happened to me about a week and a half ago. There's a few days where I really couldn't taste or smell anything. So, I took an online survey with MUSC.care, our local hospital, and got registered to take a test and got the test results back today. And came back positive.
That must have been really odd.
Yeah, no, it's strange, but Don, I think that goes to like the breadth of this virus, how powerful it is and how broad it is, because, I was talking to a colleague of mine tonight, Congressman Ben McAdams, and, he had some serious health issues as a result of the coronavirus. Me, I lost my taste and my smell for a few days, and that was it. But I think, a lot of people who may have the same symptoms as me probably should be a little bit concerned and maybe should be pushing for exam themselves because this virus has broad impacts.
Yeah, it's interesting because not many people, again, knew of the symptom that you were talking about. And I was trying to look up the conversation that I had with my friend, but he said it wasn't out there, but he started looking online as you did, and then that's how they figured out, and that's when they went to get a check, and sure enough, they were exactly right about that. Congressman, you are among 5 people in Congress who have tested positive. More than 24 others have self-quarantined. Are you worried that this virus could spread further through the Congress?
I mean, this is obviously not just Congress, but throughout our country. I think it's something that everybody needs to be taken very seriously. The businesses and community here in Charleston is taken very seriously. I think you've seen states and governors and mayors step up to the plate and recognize how significant this is. And look, we're going to see some short-term pain, I imagine. But I think if we hunker down, if we're socially responsible and we follow the CDC guidelines, I think we can flatten this curve. See the less spread of this virus, and hopefully, God willing, move on here in several weeks and get this back to normal.
Some members of Congress were scrambling to get back to Washington after Republican Congressman Thomas Massie threatened to force an in-person vote on the historic stimulus package. Are actions like that putting your colleagues at risk, you believe?
I think they could be. And look, I don't think there's any room for theatrics in a time like this. I mean, stunts like that, what happened today, or the reason why people hold Congress in such low regard. It's the reason why, in polls, Nickelback is more favorable than Congress. It's when politicians pull stunts like that, it doesn't bode well for the system. It doesn't bode well for our democracy. And yes, to your point, you also have to think about the fact that people are flying back in from various parts of the country into a contained area. So, you have to take that into consideration. And the fact is, people, Americans aren't looking for political acts or political theater. They want results. When I talk to low country business owners like Michael Shimtoff here, who owns restaurants in Charleston, they need help yesterday with their employees, and with their businesses and keeping their doors open. So, people aren't interested in DC theatrics. They want results.
Yeah, I'm looking down because I was just looking at the number of cases. I keep a list here of the number of cases of people in states around the country. And South Carolina has more than 500 cases total, more than 80 new cases today. Your district includes Charleston. Are you worried that the number of cases could explode?
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned how quickly this can spread. I'm also concerned with other people like me who may not have a fever, may not have body aches, those typical signs, but they may have lost taste or smell and have not thought to gotten checked or gotten tested. Those are all concerns for me. And like I said, we all need to be focused on flattening this curve, being socially responsible, distancing ourselves from people. Those are all things we need to take into consideration. At the same time, I think Congress has a responsibility to act like it did today in passing that bill, and we're already going to start to work on another bill as well to help, low country businesses, to help small businesses, to help anyone who's been impacted by this virus.
Yeah. Hey, listen, I found it before I let you go here. It says he was talking to me about GI. Speaking of doctor, he was saying he had GI issues right before. And I said, well, I didn't think GI issues was a symptom. He said some cases report day prior one time having diarrhea may or may not have been associated, but the loss of smell is real. I was sauteing garlic and onions last night and stuck my nose right in the pan and couldn't smell it one bit. So There you go. And I've heard from a number of people after that, after I checked with doctors, and they say the loss of taste and smell is certainly real. And at first, they didn't know that. So, Congressman, listen, we thank you for giving us some information that a lot of people didn't know about, and we thank you for joining us, and we wish you the very best. If you need us, you know where to get us. Thank you so much.
Thanks, John, so much. I want to thank the first responders out there who are putting their lives on the line every single day, nurses, doctors, everyone else making this country a better place.
Absolutely. Thank you, Congressman Cunningham. President Trump claims the system was broken and there was no testing when he took office. Next, I'm going to talk to someone who led an exercise with his national security team on how to handle things like a pandemic.
Now that we have over 100 HD channels to choose from, we're making it easier for you to enjoy them. From April 1st, we're reorganizing our channel numbers by HD and package. So it's simpler for you to look for your favorite HD channels and maybe discover new shows too.
Air, fire, water, earth.
To get the full list of our new channel numbers, go to channel 100 or WhatsApp us.
To help you and your loved ones through this testing time, from now until March 31st, we're opening all our movie channels for all our customers to enjoy complimentary viewing. Stay safe, stay home, and stay entertained with us.
Where you are in the world, there is a clear pattern on how governments and leaders use the power in their hands. Will this change Europe? Demonstrations erupted over unemployment. There could be some very serious national security questions. What about Mr. Trump's America?
Martin Luther King Jr. would be very disappointed.
Living and working in the US right now gives me an important perspective as an outsider looking in. How divided is America? Quite divided. You blame the president for that? No. You've cut off any friends or family who are Republican? Yes. Politicians are hoping to turn all of this energy into votes. How do you balance your politics and the need to make a statement? Why do you think it's important to do what you did today? I'm Robin Kerno in Atlanta, and this is CNN.
Settled on Japan's eastern coast, Ishinomaki is a place deeply connected to the ocean. Its seafood is a flavorful point of pride. When fishing is your life, the morning means one thing: work. Chef Masateru Imamura is bracing the cold winter